Welcome back to Procrastination Limits, where we don't have time for mercy. We've been going through Undertale, seeing how many monsters we're able to spare without the use of the mercy button. Ruins and Snowden were fine, but Waterfall gave us huge trouble, bringing both our love to 8 and our score down to 8. Hopefully in Hotland, we're able to spare even more monsters than we fight. As for how the score works, here are the rules. Now we have an Hotland. As we walk into the lab, we meet Alphys, and then we have an encounter with Mettaton. Which, of course we won't fight it, but even if we did, we'll just miss. And, ooh, that's correctly, it has to be a new card. Oh well. This battle will end peacefully, so count that as a win. The next area has Vulcan, which, as hard as we try, no axe will actually end the battle peacefully. And I tried avoiding this fight by using the punch card to wrong warp. I tried to wrong warp in the previous room to see if I could get behind the two royal guards. And by even trying to just pause on top of the conveyor belts, but none of those worked. So we're gonna have to fight Vulcan. And since no axe actually lets us end the battle peacefully, without the use of the mercy button, we're gonna have to fight him. The next area has Sunderplane, which also can't be spared. So we're just gonna have to finish this. But while we can't spare Thunderplane, we can avoid her. By using the punch card at the same time we use one of these vents, we're able to move forward a bit. More than we're supposed to. Now, this attempt didn't actually work out because I ended up doing a glitch that causes both a battle and a text message at the same time. Funny how that worked. And I just had to see how this ends up with, but it wasn't anything too special. Except for this invisible wall that just is there. And a few steps later, I was able to move just right to avoid the Sunderplane fight. Now, this actually brings a small problem to the rules and why there's an asterisk there. I disallowed pause buffering, and to actually trigger the punch card glitch, you do have to pause buffer for 1 frame. Pause buffering was unallowed because you can get through any room in Undertale without any encounters by just pause buffering the whole way, and doing that just didn't seem right to me. So, because of the punch card, I have modified the rule where I am allowed to use pause buffering, but only to trigger the punch card glitch, and only pause once for punch card use. Not exactly the most clear answer, but that's just the way I chose it. And after solving 2 puzzles, we head on to the cooking show. And I mean, sometimes you feel like these things that have no soul, like how do we... So, after Mettaton hits us with flour, eggs, and milk, we reach the top and continue on. In this room past the hot dog stand, we'll get a text, and we'll also get an encounter with Sunderplane. So normally you would have Pyrope in this room, but the way that Undertale's battles work is that the first few encounters of each area are actually predetermined. So in Hotland you first get Vulcan, then you get Sunderplane, and lastly you get Pyrope. Since we haven't fought Sunderplane yet in this file, the Sunderplane encounter was pushed back to this room. Speaking of this room, if we head up, we can enter the art club. Well, we can do a fight at the art club against So Sorry. And So Sorry will show us some artworks that, after doing something enough, we'll be able to draw for them, and That's 2 more for the count, but since they appear to be the same enemy, I'll count it as 1. And so sorry will just also leave after showing a bunch of expressions. So that's 2 more to the counts in the peaceful ends. And then we have the Royal Guard, which even after removing the armor and having them have a bro-to-bro moment, they want us to spare them, so you know how that ends. However, we're able to use the punch card to skip this battle. By pausing the same time the cutscene starts, we're able to use the punch card to end the cutscene trigger while the cutscene is still playing, letting us walk during the cutscene so we can head on to the newsroom. So, here we have 6 bombs and they can all be finished by defusing. Now, this could be plus 6 to our mercy count, however, I'm not going to count it that way. I'm going to count it based off their in-battle sprites. So, since the dog and the water use unique sprites for them, they'll be added to the count. However, the movie bomb, the basket bomb, the game bomb, and the present bomb are all the same bomb sprite. I'll be counting all those as one singular spare. This is just so I don't get too many easy wins. Now in the next area, normally you would have 2 pyros, but in this case we'll only have 1. Either way, no uses of X here will end the battle peacefully. So that means we have to fight. Is what I would say if we could use the punch card to get out of bounds here. And with that, I'm able to walk around these gears and enter the door from behind. And next we head on to the Muffet fight. Which, you might remember that if you use the Spider Donut, you'd be able to just end the battle immediately. However, she only lets you spare her immediately. So, that means we have to end up the fighting. But, that's not the only way of skipping Muffet's fight. So if we go back to Waterfall, we're able to buy some items. By the way, do not buy the torn notebook if you're going to do what I'm doing. And sell them to Temmie. Now, I made a mistake and bought a bunch of torn notebooks because I thought those would have been sold at a higher price. Nope. Temmie shortchanged you for those. Buy cloudy glasses from Garrison and sell them to Temmie for a profit of at least 20 gold per cloudy glasses. I'll be doing this for a while, so enjoy. I decided to take a small break of just keep doing the same thing over and over again. I did some snow racing. After a few tries, I did end up getting the second place, which is actually the better option. But then realized that this is way slower than just doing what I previously did. Then, another gold grinding method is to keep using the fairy. As, even though this monster says 3 gold for the fairy, they actually mean 3 gold, they'll give you 3 gold for every use of the fairy. But again, that was much slower and repetitive. So back to cloudy glasses grinding. You can still fight waterfall monsters after Undyne. After a reset, I went back to grinding again. Also decided to buy 1 extra cloudy glasses for myself. But you may be asking yourself, why do we grind so much gold? What could we even use it for? Well, at the Spider Bake Sale, you're able to buy one of these donuts or ciders for 9,999 gold. And after doing so, and doing this vent glitch again, we're going back to Muffet again. So I guess this is our first time in this timeline, but you know what I mean. Did you hear what they said? They said a human wearing a striped shirt would come true. I heard that they hate spiders. I heard that they love to stomp on them. I heard that they like to tear their legs off. However, that can't be true, can it? You donate so much money to us. All the spiders want to know how thankful they are. Earn your duck, dearie. And after they leave us alone, we're off to meet Mettaton again. With a memorable maze, I guess to say. And as Mettaton reminds us, the green towel will summon a monster. And well, since the only monsters here are Vulcans, Thunderplanes, and Pyropes, and none of them are sparable in these circumstances, how we don't encounter a monster in a standstill. Alphys, darling, what are you talking about? Did you forget what the green towels do? They make a sound, then you fight a monster. Well, darling, well, 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 welly, well, 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 welly, well, 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 welly. You never stepped on a green towel. And now you're going to die. The Mettaton attacks us again. This battle also ends without violence after pressing the Undertale yellow button. And we reach the end of Hotland. Now I'll be leaving the core with New Home for the next part. For now, let's go to the totals. We started Hotland with 8 spares over fights and at level 8. We have ended Hotland still at level 8, but we also spared 6 more monsters and fought 2 of them, which brings our total from 8 to 12. A big boost, I'd say, to the scoreboard. Next part, we're reaching the finale as we enter Core and New Home. I'll also show other monsters that are route-specific encounters, and showcase whether or not they too can be spared, through means other than mercy. This challenge is almost over, and I'm excited to see which neutral ending we'll find. And if you're excited too, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video in this series. Till then, see you next time.